Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today my friends at Red River Chevrolet have loaned me this 2021 Chevrolet Camaro SS for the day. And of course I really appreciate my friends at the dealership there for this opportunity. A lot of fun to drive this car. Sounds really good with the 6.2 liter V8 under the hood, as you'll find out later on in the video. And one of the features on this car is something I would like to see a lot more of on other vehicles, and I'll show you what that is in just a little bit. The exterior color on this model is Riverside Blue Metallic. Of course, you can see that you have the black 5-spoke wheels. And the interior color is jet black, and there are some accent colors in the interior here, as you can see, not only on the floor mats. And of course the cloth seats here do have a lot of nice contrast stitching throughout the material. It just really sets it off immensely. And yeah, you do have a back seat. While it's not huge, I may step back into the back seat later on in the video just to see how well I fit as a comparison for the video. Of course, you do have the Camaro badging here on the side. But one of the things I really like here, of course, you do have the heat extractor built into the hood. A very nice feature there, and of course that is not just decorative, that is the real thing. And something I like here as we begin to look at the front end, of course you've got the LED headlights and the SS badge there, all that good stuff, but everything here is functional. All of the two upper and lower grills, the air vents, everything is functional. Nothing there is just cosmetic. I really like that. That's something that we don't see on all vehicles. Not to put any vehicles down, but it's just something, if it's gonna be there, why not just make it functional? And as we look down, of course, the body lines on the car, there's no changes, of course, to the exterior for 2021, but that's not a bad thing because the Camaro still looks very racy, very low profile, just a great looking car. And we'll just take a look at all the lines here, even onto the roof. I like the fact that the roof, even though it has contour this way, you still have some lines across as well as far as the contour and just the overall shape of the roof. And of course you have the rear spoiler here as being the SS. Of course there is your SS badge, and of course you've got the exhaust back here. What a great sounding engine on this model. And as we open the rear trunk here, it's been a long time since I've hopped into a trunk, but if you've watched some of my older videos, it's been a long time since I've done that. The only way I could get into this one, I'd have to get in through the back seats, which do fold down, by the way. That's how you're going to maximize your cargo space, which is not terribly bad for a two-door high-performance sports car. And of course, here is the heart and soul of the SS Camaro, the 6.2 liter V8, not shy on horsepower. And I'll give you an exhaust clip in just a minute. Of course, this combination is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and you do have multiple driving modes. I'll go through what those are when we take our interior tour in just a minute. And in case you haven't seen, just so you know I wasn't kidding, for those who may not already be in the know, as I said, there is a functional heat extractor in the hood. You can see that that is open. It is not just cosmetic. Something I would like to see on more vehicles. If you're going to have that on the hood, you might as well make it functional. Here's the view from the driver's seat. I'll just give you a quick little scan through the interior here. When it comes to adjusting the temperature and the fan speed, your temperature on here is going to be adjusted here on the left-hand side just by turning the air conditioning vent there. And then, of course, here you'll adjust on the right-hand side the fan speed. Don't have dual zone climate control here, but in an interior of this size, it's not really necessary. And so, as you can see, steering wheel mounted controls, you've got paddle shifters there. You're going to control your headlights here on the left-hand side and the windshield wipers on the right. Of course, you do have a lot of different features you can go through. You've got voice commands, quite a few nice features here. You can even change the look of the dashboard, but unfortunately that feature appears to be disabled right now where I can't really go through that, but I'll show you just some of the features I can give you right now. Let's see, for our test drive, we've got quite a bit of fuel left, so we can have a little bit of fun with that in a little bit. And all I'm doing is just pushing the down arrow right here, and you can use these arrows for a number of different features and functionality to see what you might want to do or how you might want things to see or look. And of course, as you can see, I've got the digital speedometer set up right there. And of course, Chevrolet's infotainment system here. All the regular bells and whistles you might be used to seeing, or if you haven't ever seen anything like this before, and there are still folks out there who have not owned a vehicle with an infotainment screen before. So you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Let me try not to get my finger in the way too much there. OnStar, you got your climate control. You can go in and control quite a few things here, depending on what you want to do. But very simple. And if you want to go in and make changes, depending on if you want to change on the system, of course, you've got several different features here. You can go to your apps and make changes there, and of course, with the vehicle as well. And when we get to the true business end of everything, of course, here is the shifter. And pretty simple, but just in case you want to know, if you want to use the shifter to row through the gears, even though it's a automatic transmission, you can manually change gears. You're just going to push the shifter over to the left like that, and then you're going to go, of course, up for gearing up and down for gearing down, depending on what your situation is. And of course, you have your power parking brake right here, traction control on or off right there. But here is something that's very important. Toggling between modes right there. That's all you have to do, and you're going to see what you have right here on the dashboard. So let me just go through everything here. You have quite a few modes. Now, snow and ice, I cannot imagine using snow and ice in this car, but I guess if you got into a situation where you had to, well, it'd be nice to know that it's there. I would not necessarily want to try that. And just in the interest of fair reporting, you do have a couple of drink holders right here, and here is your console. Let me get my glasses holder out of there so you can see what you have. But I tell you what, this could be easily used as a daily driver, but I think it'd be a lot more fun just to use as a weekend car. I did want to show you a couple of things here real quick. You do have a valet mode, and basically what happens is you enter a code. You're going to put in your own code, and unless you have the code, whoever's valeting the car cannot make any changes to the car whatsoever, even something as simple as changing the radio station. So a nice feature there. I'm not going to go into that too in depth. And of course, here is teen driver mode. And again, I'm not going to do a big demonstration on that, but obviously there are going to be a lot of features that are going to be helpful with that. And if I remember correctly, one of those is until the driver puts their seatbelt on, the vehicle does not even go into drive. Okay guys, we're going to get out on the road for our test drive here and just have a little bit of fun. I'm not going to go too crazy here just because of the fact that, well, the city that I'm in right now is quite an adventure to drive in, so as far as the police and all that stuff goes, but we'll just get out and get a little exhaust note for you as we cruise down the road here. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoy driving this Camaro, this SS Camaro. I mean, you can just hear the horsepower without even hardly getting into it. And of course, going through the corner here, gonna have great cornering. That's very impressive. The way this car is geared gives you an idea that it's just tuned perfectly, and you can hear the exhaust crackles as I got into it right there. And even if it's down, as it's downshifting, after I took my foot off the pedal, very, very impressive. So we'll kind of just cruise down the road a little bit here. The steering, of course, nice and tight. The steering wheel is leather wrapped. I like the large instrument cluster, the gauges, everything's easy to see. Now, this model doesn't have a heads-up display, but that is a feature that is available on the Camaros, depending on what trim level you get. But as far as just a daily driver, yeah, you could do it. Personally, I think I would rather use this as a weekend vehicle, trying to avoid some of the bumps here and everything like that. But the thing I like most of all here is the overall visceral experience. You feel really involved in driving the car and just have a good time just driving down the road like we're doing right now. You know, I wish I had a little more space to have some fun with using the shifter itself to change the gears as opposed to the shifter paddles. It'd be a lot more fun if I had a place where I could really open it up, I think. But yeah, it's okay. Kind of get a little bit of an idea. Tell me in the comments, guys, if that's something you've done with your Camaro SS or whatever model you may have. If you've used the shifter, this is just not the right place to do that, unfortunately. I did see a police officer going the other way, but I'm safe. I'm actually under the speed limit at the moment. But just cruising around here, obviously the handling is going to be great. Yeah, you're going to get some road noise and all that kind of stuff, but for me personally, driving a high-performance vehicle that has a real quiet interior, I don't know, it just wouldn't quite do it for me, but that's just my personal experience. And if you're looking for some good downshift crackles, you can get those. You have to kind of drive into the downshift, so to speak, and what do I mean by that? Because you got to have the RPMs up a little bit. Kind of similar to the Stingray Corvette, the C7 Corvette. You pretty much have to drive into those downshifts, but you can get some really good crackles. This is the same motor that's in that model, and basically the same tune-up, I believe, too. Overall, you know, this is the first time I've driven one of these SS Camaros, but I must say I really like the fact that, number one, of course, it handles great. Great acceleration, wonderful exhaust note, and I like the fact that overall, it seems that the brake pedal is nice and balanced. I haven't really had a place to where I could dive onto the brake pretty hard going into a corner to really show you what it would do, just kind of the way it is. Plus, I've got some traffic around me, just one of those things. But overall, this is a very fun vehicle to drive. Not terribly difficult to see out of. You're going to have a little bit of a blind spot over your right-hand shoulder on the right-hand side of the vehicle, but it's not that bad. By far, not the worst I've ever seen by a long shot. And of course, if you're looking for something that just sounds really stout, because, well, ultimately it is, this is definitely a good option. So I'd like to thank my friends at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch, guys. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.